Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come on in. So great to have you all here. Thanks so much for joining us today. It's Monday, December 18th, 2023. Now, this is a special day, not just because it's Monday, not just because we're about through the halfway point of the month of December, and certainly wrapping up the fourth quarter and the year in total, but it's also when it comes to our small business, small group, associate circle up, which we've been doing here. We are saying goodbye because 2023, this will be our last chance to be together in this environment for this conversation until the new year. As a matter of fact, into the new year, because the way the Mondays are falling, which by the way, I have my own opinion about how wonderful it is when Christmas and New Year's are on the weekend or weekend adjacent for our business. And some people that punch a clock every day, you might feel different. You might want it on Wednesday and just smash up all the weeks. But for us, finishing the month of December, getting Performance Club qualified, finishing senior director, executive director, and all of our goals, it's so great to have it positioned like that because we're really getting mostly this full week of activity and then another full week of activity coming into the end of the year. And that's what we're here to talk about, right? The end of the year is coming. There's nothing you and I can do about it. It's the end of the month. It's the end of the year. We are going to have our final report card on how our 2023 was and is. And by the way, for so many of you, because we've had this incredible growth in the fourth quarter of recruits, some of you are brand new. This is your first end of the year. You might be saying, well, what should I know? What do I have to know that I don't know already? We'll talk a little bit about that as we close up today. But primarily, you're going to hear this theme repeated over and over again in every environment we're in, every Zoom, every live event. You're going to hear us saying prioritize Performance Club qualification. It really is it's the door that opens everything else. Every bonus that you want to strive for, the growth you want to have into your business, the promise of disconnecting your time from your money because of our business model, all of that comes down to Performance Club. So we're going to talk more about that, but I'm going to get the heck out of the way, as is our tradition here on our Monday event. And I'm going to introduce you to our guest speaker. Now, this is someone who I've met before, casually, in passing, had a conversation here or there, whether it be at a pool somewhere on the planet Earth, as Legal Shield sends us on trips all over the world. Maybe it was at our international convention, maybe both. But I really got a chance to spend some time with Nancy Winters when I went to Arizona a couple weekends ago for the Super Saturday event and just saw how, first of all, how impactful her work has been to support the live events in that marketplace. Some of you heard from Rick last week talking about those live events that are going on and have sustained and are growing, but also how she has built her business with a culture of attending live events. As a matter of fact, Nancy, I hope that I don't embarrass you as I share just how successful you've been in what I got to witness. Every event we went to started with a luncheon on Friday. You were well represented, you and your team, your guests were there. As a matter of fact, people were qualifying, were moving up in the comp plan during the luncheon. I mean, it's just I wish I could say I see that everywhere I go. I just don't. The fact is, I don't. And then, so that was Friday afternoon. Then Friday evening, you were there with your guests and your associates again at the big table at the leadership event. And then Saturday, of course, you basically dominated the room. You made sure that those seats were filled with you and your business partners and their guests. And I said to myself, as I reflected on that weekend, I got to bring some of that back because as I said in that room, for us to all win is the point. For this company to be here 50 years, 100 years from now, it's not enough for just Nancy Winters or Jim Tanner to win. We all have to rise together. So Nancy, I'm so excited that you're here with us. I'm going to get out of the way so you can tell your own story. I might poke you with a few questions as we go, but the time is absolutely yours. Over to you. Take it away.
Well, thank you, Mr. Jim Tanner. Yes, it was so fun. I'm so glad you came out to our Arizona market. We needed your energy, and my team really appreciated it as well. Well, as I'm Nancy Winters here in Arizona, that's when I saw this Legal Shield about 6 years ago because I needed an attorney. My background, I spent 20 years working for very large assisted living communities like Sunrise, Merrill Gardens, Atria, all the big ones that you need a lot of money to walk in the door. And not everyone could afford that. I did very well, business development, bringing in new residents, events. I mean, it was a great career. But I got tired of the revolving door because you're only as good as your last sale. And it was a very, 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 I guess, corporate working for corporations like that. They were very greedy. I loved working with the residents and their families. That's what I loved about it. And it wasn't to me about a sale, it's about a relationship. But it was time for me to move on when I was let go for my final job in senior living. And then they decided they were just going to ignore me when I wanted to collect my final paycheck. So I contacted some good friends of mine I grew up with in Southern California. And I said, okay, let me try that Legal Shield thing. You've been bugging me for 3.5 years. I think they talked to me about it 3.5 years. And I finally decided, yeah, let me see if this thing works. And really, I'm going to get an attorney for this low monthly fee. What kind of attorneys are these? Okay, I need some hard hitters because Merrill Gardens, the big corporation out of Seattle, Washington, are they going to laugh at this attorney's letter? No, they didn't laugh. I got the head of HR sending me an apology letter but for the misunderstanding. And I did finally get my final paycheck. And so that's when I started looking at this. Wow, this could be great. I know a lot of people that have been in my shoes and also looked at it for the opportunity. I've used the membership over 100 times. I mean, maybe more, but they have recovered or saved me thousands, over $10,000. I really do need to sit down and calculate that because I really truly believe, and I know Mr. Tanner also talks about this, is use the membership. And I believe that that's how it's helped me understand the membership, help other people understand the membership and encourage them to use it, because once you get someone to use it, they believe in it. It's the moment of belief. This is a great service we have, and we need to bless people, every single person we can with this. It was not a very, it took me about 6 months, I think, good 6 months to get started in the business. I was an associate and I was really using the membership. But it wasn't until my first convention that in Oklahoma City is where I saw the big picture. And after that, I started becoming Performance Club qualified over 5 years now. And it's back in the day where you had PC Pro. And so I've been getting the $500 every month since then. And that's something I don't want to give up. And it was maybe last convention where I kind of looked at this business. I already earned a trip to performance trip to Puerto Vallarta, which we had a great time in July. And that was my second performance trip that I've earned, and earned the trip already for Jamaica. So I've never took vacations before. I was always working, and didn't take time off for vacations, didn't want to spend the money, didn't have the money. But the opportunity with Legal Shield is it's given me that freedom back. And here it is, Monday, 10 o'clock in the morning, and I can be home. I don't have to rush out the door like many people are rushing to their jobs. And as far as building a team, I think that just happened by accident. I've done some group accounts on my own, 24 open, small groups, not huge by any means. The corporation home office had signed me 3 groups that I am trying to work. And then also small business owners, because I have the background in senior living, I've been able to reach the smaller assisted livings. You may have those there in your states. They're care homes where the owner is typically somebody that is not originally from the United States. Many of the homeowners could be from the Philippines. So they're also very skeptic to get taken advantage of, because people may feel that they don't have the means to contact an attorney, or they just really don't know the language very well. But they're very smart, and many of them are business owners, and they're on my team as well. So and I think that's great, because they're also understanding the business membership and how important it is. And that's what they write. They write a lot of business plans. So fortunately, I've been able to help them in that way, and been taking part of all these great bonuses and helping people they want to help. Some people sign up for the business for different reasons, and for those who want to work, I help them. So I don't know if there's anything else.
Oh yeah, we're gonna unpack a whole bunch of that. That was so great. All right, so let's go back to convention. I heard you say the same thing so many of us have said. You saw the big picture at the convention, and I think that we could dive into that, but instead, because while that story is important, I think that message is more important than particularly what you saw, because everybody gets to see what they need to see at the convention. So since the truth is that I don't know what anybody here that is wondering if they should go to the convention, or anybody watching the recording saying, well, I don't know, it's not my thing. I don't know what you need to see and experience, what that particular thing will be that will be the launching pad for you, but I know it'll happen at the convention. So Nancy, my question to you is a different question. Let's go upstream. Before you'd gone to your first convention, can you think back with me and share, what do you think it was that got you to make the commitment to go when you didn't know what you would have missed? You went to that first convention, first for you. Do you remember what it was, that turning point that made you say, yeah, I'll be there?
I think it was, and I told my sponsors, you met Brad and Nikki Hall here, they're now in Arizona, but I told them, I said, you know what, I'll share with this membership if I come across someone that needs the help, but I'm not going to do that raw stuff. I'm not going to those meetings. And then the first of the year, they said, you got to come out and see us. They were still in Orange County, California at the time. You got to come out there. And we have our Super Saturday, but to kick off of the new year. And so I said, okay, I haven't been to see you for a while, so it should be a fun weekend. I didn't know exactly what I was getting into. But I met so many great leaders there. You guys have watched Ms. Kai Deering. She was also at that meeting. And I just looked around and the place was packed. And that was literally my first Super Saturday in the business. And I got started in October 2007. And this was now 2018, January. And then all I heard was, you got to go to the convention. You got to go to the convention. So that's what got me there.
I love that. That's great. So let's talk about, see, this is why this conversation is so important. We're learning today how to lead ourselves and how to lead others. So what you just heard Nancy Winter say was she made a commitment to a smaller commitment, not a zero. I mean, there was still some, I'm sure there was some expense and there was some consideration, but you went to the Super Saturday because your sponsors asked you to go. You have a relationship with your sponsors. You wanted to see them. When I say success leaves clues, I hope that you're writing these clues down. So she has a relationship with people that are in her leadership, so that when those people in leadership ask her to do something, there's a relationship and there's trust. So even though it wasn't her focus, she went because she was asked to go. Now I'm going to keep telling you stories. So then you went. So you, as April Hurst says, get them to cross the next line. So you crossed that line. You showed up. You got the feeling of what it is to go to a bigger event, not as big as the International Convention, but bigger still. I mean, how many times when we talk about these 10 core commitments have I said to you that you're not, if you can't get them to read 10 pages of a book, you're not going to get them to get on an airplane and go to Oklahoma City. That's what we're talking about, making these simple decisions to be more core as you go. And so then you were there and you saw that the people who congregated there were all focused on being together at the bigger event. Powerful. Did I get any of that wrong?
That's absolutely correct. Yes.
And wouldn't you agree that since that's what it is to get, that's what it took to get you to make the commitment to go to convention, that we can all do that?
Absolutely.
So remember we talked about when I was in Arizona, let's go back and talk about this meeting we had. And I shared with the group, what is it that we're trying to solve? And Nancy Winters was in that room going, I solved this. See, there's so few people that understand. I've been talking to people across 2 countries in Legal Shield for the last year plus, and very few people understand what it is that they're supposed to be focused on solving for their Legal Shield business. And that thing you're solving is, where are the people that I'm going to show this membership and or opportunity to? Where are they? Where am I going to get them? How am I going to form that list? How am I going to keep growing that list? So as I expose people, as I move them from prospects to members and associates, as the list gets smaller, it actually gets bigger because I keep adding, because I've got a system to add people. I would love for you to share whatever you're comfortable with. You are clearly some kind of Pied Piper of prospects, getting people to follow you everywhere. But you did talk about some fun things you do. And I would love for you to share a few of those thoughts about how you're having fun with people, bringing them together so they can see it's a fun thing to do even before they join the business.
Well, yes, you met Miss Kelly Garcia. I'll give that example. She called me. I didn't even know her. I met her a year. It will be in January. We were introduced by a mutual somebody out there networking. She was out there networking. She just lost her job and she needed an attorney. Nobody was going to talk to her. Nobody can help her. And then we had Raven that I had met just like one time somewhere. And apparently she remembered me and she told Kelly Garcia that she needed to call Nancy Winters and she'll help you. So I spoke to Kelly, and before I can even finish talking to her about the membership, she goes, sign me up. It's $30 a month. Sign me up. I can talk to an attorney today. Yes. So I invited Kelly. She wasn't very interested in the business. She's looking for a pretty good job in logistics. She's had many, many years backgrounds. I go, I understand you're going to look for a good job and all that, but why don't you come out with me into all these networking groups that I go to? So come with me. And then she started meeting people and she's telling people about Legal Shield for free. And then just the excitement. I called her on April 15th. We had a promotion. We were doubling all our fast starts and manager. So I called her. It was just before 10 o'clock here and almost 12 Central. So I said, you got to sign up today. You got to just sign up today. And she go, okay. She didn't know what she was doing, but I just developed those relationships where I communicate. I mean, people say I over communicate. You send a lot of text messages, you send a lot of messages, but I don't want anybody to miss anything. And I keep in contact from the day they sign up. It's like, how are you doing? Who can we talk to today? But we set up meetup groups. So I have a meetup group account where I set up all these coffee meetups, happy hours. We do wine tasting, but we make it fun. And that's how we meet our people and our friends. They're friends now.
I love that. And tell me if you think I'm off track here, but it seems to me that since you're meeting people, remember, we've had this challenge, it was so easy to turn everything off that we were doing during COVID, just turn off every live event that we have. We thought we could flip that switch the other way just as easily, which we have not been able to. So as we're trying to get kind of that machine going again, like we had it before, where there were live events happening across the map, every small town, every big city, you could go to a live event every week. And so as we're trying to get that going again, it's been like kind of a creaky start. I think that one of the reasons you're having success is because you're starting with people that are willing to meet you somewhere, right? If you were recruiting people, say, let's just essentially just over the phone, over the internet, people that want to be home and don't want to be social, then you might have a different experience getting them into the rooms. But I think that one of the things that was evident to me in hearing you talk was the reason that you're able to fill the room at the Super Saturday, at the luncheon and all these events is because you're starting with people that are raising their hand and saying, I want to go hang out. I want to be with other people in a space. I want to go have a beer, have a wine, whatever, and talk to another human being. I think that's an important component of what you've done so well.
Thank you.
You are too humble for this type of interview. Okay. So, all right. So let me ask you one more question and then I'll let you off the hook. Talk to me about your vision for your business and the business in 2024, because obviously you're sitting in a unique position now. You know how to do it. You know what it looks like when it starts to duplicate. You're watching, and I'm sure you have a big vision for yourself again and for all of us as we move forward.
Well, I see this Legal Shield in 2024 really blowing up. I mean, my team is excited. I want everyone, like you said, I want everyone to win. There's just been too much bad and too much things that happen to people, and I just want to see them all win. And I want my team. We formed 2 teams. I'm going to help I have 2 teams with my associates in my organization. I want them to be there for our performance trip in Montego Bay, Jamaica. But I want them all to experience what I get to experience, and I want them to also step up. I want them to start leading their own groups and sharing their success as well. So that's what we're looking forward in the new year.
Thank you so much, Nancy. I appreciate you. We just love hearing from folks that are winning, and then all the different ways that people are winning. Because as a full service associate, that means you're touching all these different parts of the wheel of opportunity, and you certainly are, between group and individual, recruiting, and then supporting people in your team that are focusing in all these different areas. So we appreciate you, and anything we can do, of course, to help you, please let us know, because we're all for it. And I'm coming back to Arizona if that's part of your wish list, because you sold me on that weather. It's a lot nicer out there.
Yeah, don't come in the summer though, unless you like to bake.
No, I'm gonna come every time it gets cold. I'm coming out, and so you might want to get the guest room ready. Okay.
Okay.
Nancy, thank you so much. Okay, let's see. So we got 9 minutes left, and I want to really just piggyback on what you heard, talk to you about wrapping this thing up in a way that you're proud of. You know, a lot of folks, see, I wasn't a business owner when I got here. So a lot of folks that come into our business, whether you've thought about this or not, is we are training the majority of our associates, I'd say about 95% of our associates, on how to think like a business owner. And that's okay, because Legal Shield meets you where you are and then helps you to become who you're going to be. Meets you where you are and then challenges you to not stay where you are. And so I just wanted to talk about that for a minute, because this is, sometimes people say, Jim, tell me about how you got started in this business. And you know, I can tell you the short version real quick, but I get this question a lot because people know that I didn't love what I did for a living, and what didn't pay me that well. And it took me about 90 days to get my feet under me doing this, to say, okay, I don't have to do that anymore. That's my story. But I'll tell you this, when I left the working world behind, there was that moment of excitement. Like, I really feel like I accomplished something. But what I realized that first Monday morning, where I wasn't going anywhere else, I was my own boss. There was no other place to go. What I realized that first Monday morning was I had never lived in this space before. So for those of you that are building your Legal Shield business alongside of your work, enjoy this part of the process, because you have some guardrails, some rails to run within, because you're fitting your business into your already busy life. See, if your goal is to leave that working world behind, like it was for me, then that space, that chasm, that openness creates a challenge where you've got to now create, because you're the business owner, you're the CEO, you're the boss. You now have to create that structure of how you're going to run your business. What does your day look like? When do you get up? When do you have your first cup of coffee? What is it? Emails first? Are you answering emails, answering texts? Are you taking care of the needs of the home? And then are you getting into your business? See, there's a lot of questions that are not answered until you start realizing those questions have to be answered. And when I got started, when I left my working world behind, and I had this space, I had the whole day for my Legal Shield business, all of a sudden, I realized two things very quickly. Number one, I realized I didn't need the whole day. I realized that right away. I didn't need the whole day. And number two, what I realized was that I had, although I thought I was self-motivated, what I was motivated by external forces that were pushing on me at all times. See, yes, I ran my Legal Shield business around my jobs and around my busy life, but I had the jobs and the busy life as the framework upon which to tie my Legal Shield business together throughout the day. I knew when I was going to talk to people about Legal Shield, because I knew when I was working and when I wasn't working. Does that make sense? I hope it does. So what happened was I had these external forces that created a framework for my business. And once I removed the external forces, I realized that those were not internal forces. And so all of a sudden I was the boss, and I had to think completely different. And this cost me, in the first few weeks as I made that adjustment, this cost me greatly, because I lost all my momentum that I had. All of my momentum about how I did this business, how I got free in 90 days, I lost it on day one of being my own boss with no job. So I had to create some of this framework for myself. So as you're looking at the rest of this year and in the next year, I challenge you to start creating that framework if you need it. Like if you don't have those external forces, if you're doing this business 1 to 2 hours a day around an incredibly busy life, those external forces create that system that you're building your Legal Shield business around. But if you're not, you might find yourself in the same boat that I was in, which is that you've got to create that. When do I do this and when do I do that? How do I do this and why? So that you can think like a business owner. The other thing about business owners, and this is what I want to finish with, I got 5 more minutes with you. 5 more minutes in this environment for the whole year. This is it. I'm going to see you next on January 8th. Now, I'll see you in other environments, but in this environment, January 8th is the next time we'll talk. Here's what business owners do that employees don't do. They think way, way, way ahead. See, right now, we're talking about going on a vacation together in July of 2024. And we're talking about that in December of 2023. And to go on that vacation with us in July of 2024, you have to do an activity, a set of activities right now in December of 2023. And that's not how employees think. That's not how I thought when I was an employee. When I was an employee, I thought about what time was I going to get to work? What time was I going to get out? What time was I going to be able to get some lunch? Or was I, depending on how busy we were? When was my next day off? When was my next vacation? When was payday? How much was I going to make? Did I get all my hours in? Those are different thoughts. Now you're being asked to think way ahead. And because you're being asked to think way ahead, and maybe for many of us, if you were like me, you're surrounded by people that don't have to think way ahead, that's a challenge for you. But I'm telling you, the people that are doing the activity right now are the people that will walk those beaches of Jamaica with us. And I've been to this resort in Jamaica. It's awesome. Now, I've never been to a bad Performance Club trip, and I've been on a lot of them. They've all been awesome, but I've been to this resort before. I think it was 2017. I forget. I could look it up in my Amazon photos, but 2016, 2017, right around there, maybe 2018. We went to this resort and it's phenomenal. And we had a blast and it was so much fun. And it's such a beautiful resort. And it's all of your food, all of your fun, your airfare for you and a guest and your accommodations. We want you to be there. And we have room for you. That's why even if you're brand new, we formed these teams over the weekend so that you can go with us. And I just wanted to leave you with this thought. No matter what you think about your chances to qualify to come with us, if you're skeptical that you can do it because you've never won a trip anywhere before. See, one of the ways you can win is they can just pull your name out. John Fehrenbach's here with us. They pulled his name out of the hopper, and he spent the time with us in Hawaii on that trip when he was new, and he was so new he didn't have a chance to qualify to go to Hawaii in one of the leaderboards, but he was there with us anyway. And so real people get their names pulled out of the hopper. And you're probably going to be on one of the teams that qualifies if you do the bare minimum, because qualifying for these trips is a marathon, not a sprint. It's not about being really, really good for a short period of time. It's about being diligent. By the way, what I love about these trips is the way you build to win a trip is the same way you build this business. Successful people are building this business consistently every day. Not a lot all at once, not some kind of superhuman effort once in a while, consistently every day. And if you are on a Jamaica team and you are on one of these teams, all you have to focus on right now, between now and the end of the year, even if you're brand new, we don't need your knowledge. We don't need you to know how to do any of the stuff I'm talking to you about. You just got to ask. We will give you the knowledge, but you have to have the desire. If you don't have the desire, you won't be there with us, because I need you to have the desire to drive you to want the knowledge. But I'm saying words that some of you are brand new. I put a whole team together of people that have been in the business less than 3 weeks. I know they don't know the words that I'm saying, but I know that they have the desire. That's why I put them on a team. They want to be there with me. So if you have the desire to be in Jamaica, if you have the desire to be there with us, if you believe you need a vacation and you would love to gift that experience to somebody you care about to go with you, then you just have to focus on getting Performance Club qualified as the minimum in the month of December. Yes, there's other things. You can look at those sheets. You'll see points for this and points for that and all kinds of points and fine print and things you don't understand. All you need to know right now is that you have to be Performance Club qualified. Because if you're not Performance Club qualified, when the bell rings on this last round of 2023, on December 31st, we get a ball this time. We don't get a ball drop every month, but in December, we get a ball that drops. People in New York City in Times Square, they fill it up and they sing to let you know that the month is over at Legal Shield. And so is the year. We arrange that. It's a pretty good deal. So when that ball drops and it's January 1st, it will be too late to Performance Club qualify in December to be in the running to join us in Jamaica. That's why it's so important now. That's why I'm spending the last few minutes I have with you on it, because you deserve a vacation. You can be there. Thinking like a business owner is going to serve you well for your entire career. Thinking about the daily activity that gets you to the big result is going to serve you for your entire career. Going on these trips and hanging out with people who've made millions of dollars in this business that want to teach you everything they know is going to really benefit your career. Getting the contact information of people who've already done the things that you're trying to do and want to help you is going to be great for your career. So whether you're here to make some extra money, just to put away for your retirement, whether you're here to make a six-figure income now and forever, whether you're here to become a Millionaire Club member, or you're just here because you love the camaraderie, join us in Jamaica. It's worth it and it's fun. And by the way, you can't get to the Jamaica trip by doing anything bad, right? What you're doing is you're helping people get our services. You're sharing with them our opportunity. You're not polluting streams and rivers and oceans. You're just doing good things, bringing equal access to equal justice to every corner of your community, to every community across the United States and Canada. That's worth doing. It's worth getting up early for. It's worth staying up late for. It's worth taking one more call or texting one more friend for. It's important, noble work, and I'm proud to do it with you. And I'm so grateful that we get to be on this journey together. Nancy Winters, thank you so much for being with us today. And as I've said many times, I'm saying it for the last time in 2023, this Zoom is over, but the week is just getting started. Let's go get it. Goodbye, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.